Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Right, I'm not going to lie. I'm extremely concerned about the betting odds for this fight. Right, have a look. Now, these odds aren't right. Now, I can understand Jake Paul being the favourite, not from a boxing sense, it's absolutely laughable, but from a betting sense, all his fans have been manipulated that he's a great boxer, right? And they'll put money on him and they'll back him because they're looking at him through the eyes of a social media star, not a boxer, right? So I get it. They're passionate about him, they're fans of him. No problem. I understand that, right? But it's the round betting that's really concerning for me. There's red flags in my brain now because look at this. Bet 365, 66 to 1 Fury the first round, 50 to 1 second round, 40 to 1 third round, 33 to 1 down the stretch in every other round, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's unexplainable, right? I'm sorry, but that's concerning because you can be a Jake Paul diehard fan, right? But in your mind, you know there's a big possibility he could get knocked out. He's never fought a boxer. He's been boxing for a few years. He's improved for a YouTuber. But in regards to professional boxing level, he's very limited as a boxer. He has no head movement. He has no upper body movement. His footwork's very sloppy. He falls into his punches. He's got a good overhand right. He's got decent hand speed. He's got decent power. Contrary to what people think, he's not Golovkin or Deontay Wilder. Let me tell you who he's knocked out. He's knocked out 4 out of 6 people. He's knocked out a YouTuber, a basketball player, all much smaller than him, a retired MMA grappler in Ben Askren, who was 18 months out of the ring or 16 months, just come off hip replacement surgery. The worst hands in you could ever imagine in a boxing sense, right? And Tyrone Woodley in the second fight when he had 2 weeks to prepare. When he fought Tyrone Woodley in the first fight, he hit him with the kitchen sink. He never moved. Apart from his legs doing a little wobble in one of the rounds, he never got hurt. And even then he wasn't hurt. He still carried on. So he took all that power. So the idea that Jake Paul's a machine and he's strong knockout artist is just a load of utter bullshit. Let me see him knock out a boxer his own size. He knocked down Anderson Silva, 47-year-old man, right, who got straight back up and probably won the round afterwards, right? He was caught square one. So Silva took most of his shots. So don't tell me Jake Paul is this monster puncher. And people are saying Tommy Fury can't punch. He's got a 50% knockout ratio, right? He's 23. People keep going, look at his resume, who he's fought. It doesn't make a difference who he has fought. Every professional boxer fights low-level pros at the beginning of the career to gain experience. Everyone does it. If you look at Prince Nassim Hamed or Ricky Hatton, who they fought after 6, 7 fights, you could go off that. It doesn't mean anything. Now, I am not saying Tommy Fury is a world-class prospect or going to be a world champion. He's in the same mould as where Conor Benn and Ricky Hatton was when they started their careers. They've got famous family members, didn't have much of an amateur career, so they've got eyes on them, and he's in that mould, right? But he's a boxer. He's been boxing since he was 10, 11, 12 years of age. He's had a few amateur fights, I think regional tournaments. He's been in gyms. He's been around the heavyweight champion of the world, right? This is not someone who's been putting out content of YouTube. This is not someone who's been on YouTube putting content out. He went on Love Island after 2 professional boxing fights to boost his image, right? Which was a very smart and shrewd move because he's made a shitload of money. He's met his wife. He's got a daughter, right? Very smart. He is not a reality TV star. He was a boxer before that. That's it. People like to dismiss him and say he can't box and all this, right? I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion. I'm comparing him to Jake Paul. Right, this is someone who has boxed for 2 or 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's been. Right, you can only learn so much. Tommy Fury, as I said, has knocked out 50% of his opponents. Right, the idea that he can't punch is just utter bullshit. Granted, the opponents were low level, but he's knocked men out cold. I've seen it. right? If you want to deny that's not happened, go and look at my Instagram or my TikTok account. You'll see I posted videos of him knocking people out, right? So the idea that he can't punch is bullshit, especially against someone who has never fought a boxer. Now, people can say, oh, we fought Anderson Silva, we fought Chavez Jr., right? Doesn't make a difference, right? Anyone who knows about Chavez Jr. knows that he was the most undisciplined fighter you could ever come across in his career. He was gifted a lot of fights. He never fought anyone, I think, for 40 fights. He was a world champion, right? Let's get it right. He was sort of gifted that. But look, it's still a good achievement. The only time he's impressed me was in the last minute against Sergio Martinez when he nearly had him out of there, right? But he was undisciplined. He failed multiple drug tests. He was missing weight. He looked like he never trained when he fought Canelo Alvarez a few years ago. He's had substance abuse problems. He's had personal problems. And I don't want to hate on the guy, but I'm just telling you the reality of the situation. To say, well, Anderson Silva beat Chavez Jr. and Jake beats Anderson Silva, that means he's better than Tommy Fury. He's just a load of bullshit. Not true, right? You're putting 2 and 2 and coming up with 7. It's not true, right? Chavez Jr. went to rehab not long after that fight, right? You can't go off that. What you have to go off is how both men box, right? Who does things better in the boxing sense? I don't care who Anderson Silva has beat. I'm not interested. Doesn't make a difference to me, right? I'm looking at both men, how much experience they've had. And when I say experience, I don't just mean fighting. I mean, how long have they been in the gym? How many hours have they put in, right? Boxing for 3-4 years, you're not going to get to the level of someone who's been boxing for 12 years, right? It's as simple as that. If someone's better than you, right, like Tommy is better than Jake Paul. He's a better boxer. He's got a better hand speed. He's got a better defense. He's got a better jab. He's got a better right hand. He's got a better left hook. He throws his punches better, right? Yes, he makes mistakes as well, Tommy. He's a novice pro himself. He's learning on the job, right? But we're talking about someone who's come from YouTube. And as I've said many times, I give a lot of credit to Jake Paul for coming off YouTube and competing with MMA fighters and even fighting Tommy. I've got a big respect. It's not easy, that. It's hard, right? And he's improved a lot. Fair play. But I'm not looking at him through the lens of a social media star. I'm looking at him now as a professional boxer. He keeps waffling the crap he's going to be a world champion. It's utter shite. I'm going to make a run for the title as though it's that easy. No, you're not, mate. You're just saying that because you want to manipulate your fans who believe that and go, yeah, he can be a world champion. It's all positive. He beat Anderson Silva. When he forget to mention Anderson Silva's 47. 47. He's 25. It's a good win, but come on. What is this, a circus now? Like, people don't like the fact that I report on this, right, with valid arguments and facts. I don't idolise Jake Paul. I've said many times, I don't have any emotion towards him. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I don't watch his content. I didn't know who he was before boxing. I have an opinion on his boxing, right? I have a lot of respect for him from what he's done outside of boxing. He's a superstar. He's got a following. Fair play. He's a very, very smart man, right? He's no one's mug, right? He puts out content that sells. Not what is true, what sells. So if he's going to say to you he's going to be a world champion and fight Canelo, he knows that's going to get talked about. He's going to talk about fighters' pay. He's going to talk about the UFC, Dana White. He's going to fight this fighter. He's going to fight Bivol and whoever else he's fucking said or whatever. That he knows that's going to sell. This is a guy who's an expert at putting out content that sells. So people are manipulated. You can't manipulate me. I've watched boxing for over 25 years. I have many friends who are fighters. I've been in training camps. I speak to managers, matchmakers, trainers daily. I understand the sport. I'm talking like this because I've watched Jake Paul fight. I've watched footage and he makes the most basic of mistakes. He really does. If you watch his fight, he doesn't even bring his hands back to his chin. Like, he literally just stands like that. Like this. Doesn't bring his hand back. Falls into the shots. Falls into them. Right? He's always off balance. When you're fighting aging retired MMA fighters, they're not going to push the pace on you. Right? So when a boxer comes at him and throws combinations and backs him up, I believe he'll fold. That's what my opinion is. I have to see it. And you know, you can agree with me or you can't, but to put odds like this for Tommy Fury to knock this out isn't right, right? And someone has to say something. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, right? I think Tommy's a straight shooter. I've got a lot of respect for Tommy. People hate him for whatever reason because he's successful. There's a lot of hate for him. I don't understand why. He seems a normal guy, but when you get success, people don't like it. I'm not like that. I'm not a hater. People like to call me a hater. I'm not. I'm a realist. I talk facts, right? But those odds aren't right. So we're going to see on fight night. I'm going to keep giving my opinions. I believe in a legit fight, Tommy Fury knocks this guy out. Right? I believe he knocks him out. I believe once he puts the pressure on him, he'll knock him out. People keep saying, oh, the pressure will get to Tommy and all this. They've imagined this scenario. They've literally imagined that Tommy can't box. He's quaking in his boots on the big bad Jake Paul. He doesn't want to box him. He's making excuses not to fight. He's won the lottery. I said it a few weeks ago. It's the biggest bank robbery in boxing history. He's getting millions thrown at him to fight a white collar fighter. A white collar fighter is not pro, he's not amateur, it's below that. Anyone can do white collar. That's what essentially Jake Paul is. Like, you know, if he with this fight with Tommy, if he surprises me and I see something that I've not seen before, and, you know, he beats Tommy or it's a close fight, I'll hold my hands up. I don't have an issue with that. I'll say, look, he's impressed me. And I'll be a fan of his. Like, I don't hate the guy. I'm just looking at what I see. But if something doesn't look right and something doesn't smell right, it's usually not right. And those odds aren't right for the knockout. They're not right. So what do the bookies know that we don't? Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Don't you agree with me? Who's going to win? Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.